You have to think, why is the average life of someone who was in the sex industry or shot pornography 37 versus, what did you say, 78?
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. That's a huge jump. Welcome back to Three Girls, One Kitchen. On today's episode, we're discussing a topic that is near and dear to my heart, the dark side of pornography. In this episode, I will be sharing my personal and sometimes painful experience in the adult industry with you. So I wanted to issue a trigger warning for self-harm and people who have suffered sexual abuse, as those topics may come up in this episode. With that said, let's start on a lighter note. I want to start incorporating life updates into our episodes because not only do people want to hear about the topics that we have, they want to hear about us. So we haven't shot for 2 weeks because me and Olivia were in New York. Does anyone... Yeah, we left our baby Alexa behind. Does either of you have anything interesting to share that's happened over the past 2 weeks?
Well, you were with me. So.
I'm like, honestly, I legit was working out every day, sometimes 2 times a day, and doing absolutely nothing else. I was just exploring nature, to be honest, going on hikes, went to the beach. Yeah.
Any shrooms involved in that?
By myself? No. No. I didn't even, nothing exciting. I do wish I had weed, but I didn't.
Oh, I have some if you want it.
Oh, yeah. Let's hit that doobie after this.
Doobie? I haven't heard that phrase in a long time. What were we up to?
Yeah. God, I feel like everything was a blur. I feel like we were gone for so long that I don't remember because we went to New York first, then ended up going to Chicago to get your dog. Then we're stuck in Chicago and then end up driving to New York, which is insane. We went on
a little road trip.
Yeah. We stayed in a motel. That was kind of cool.
Me and Olivia got in a fight because I wanted to see waterfalls and she didn't. We got in a fight over hypothetical theories. Turns out she doesn't like hypothetical theories, or mine at least. We got in a couple fights, just like little arguments.
Yeah. But like just little, I mean, to me, those aren't fights. I guess you consider those fights. I don't, because me and Alexa have that like every day. I don't consider that
I don't really fight though. Like that was like
y'all,
a silly.
Y'all are like half joking. Me and Olivia's are a little bit more serious, but less frequent than yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't ever really get mad. Like we just like bicker a little back and forth, like in a joking way. Yeah. But your guys' is more of like a serious note.
I think I've decided I'm just going to let her say whatever she wants and not argue with her from now on.
Same.
Because like, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. We had bad dates in New York.
Traumatizing
Wait,
dates.
I actually had a good one towards the end when we went to the pizza place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was good.
That was a nice date.
Yeah.
We're all invited to Miami.
Oh,
I need to know details.
I already told you who we went to dinner with.
The pizza?
That was a nice date.
Yeah,
the weekend prior, I got blown off. And I know a lot of people were roasting me for the last episode because I said I never get blown off. I was trying to be positive and manifest good things for myself because I already knew that I was being blown off. Oh. But y'all wanted to take it as me being a cunt. But that's just not the case. I just like to manifest that I'm not going to be blown off. Because I don't know why I would say that, you know?
Aw.
But I mean, it sounds like you guys had an eventful trip.
God, I just don't even remember anything.
It's so
strange. Honestly, it's like we were.
No, it's like a blur.
Drugged. Yeah. Like I don't remember anything.
Honestly, I'm a little. Yeah, I think we just were going through so much like stress, like getting the dog and like traveling so much that we didn't really enjoy it as much. It was mainly like getting your apartment, working.
Chores.
So it really wasn't. Yeah, chores.
Yeah.
I was literally so bored. I was putting myself to bed at 9 p.m. every night.
Oh God.
So I was reading books, watching Netflix, and working out, and that was legit all I did.
Alrighty, so since none of us are as interesting as I planned for us to be,
since we're all boring,
let's bop into today's episode. Today's episode is sponsored by Helix Sleep. Not only do we want to thank them for sponsoring today's episode, but also for the mattresses that they sent us. I don't know about yours, but my mattress is great and has helped me fall asleep so much quicker.
So Helix is a premium mattress in a box company that makes mattresses to fit your preferences based on your sleeping style and your body type.
Everybody's different, and Helix knows that. So they made a sleep quiz that matches your unique body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you.
I love my Helix, and I think you would too. If you're looking for a new bed, make sure to check out Helix. Before getting my mattress, I did the Helix quiz, and I got paired with the Helix Moonlight mattress. And I have to say, it's been so good for my back and for the usual restless nights that I have. Me and my new puppy, we just lay on it and we zonk out together. I love my new mattress.
So when I actually took the Helix sleep quiz, I got the Dusk mattress, which makes a lot of sense because, as everyone knows, when I sleep, I cuddle Mr. Wolfie, my stuffed animal. So I lay on my back, and that one is perfect for back sleepers.
Yeah, and it does like body contour as well.
Yeah.
So I took the Helix quiz, and I actually got matched with the Helix Sunset, which for me is perfect because I actually have back issues. So I'm also a side sleeper, and it actually has really good support. So it's helping me with sleeping on the side and also preventing any more back issues that I have because I have been having a lot of back issues. So I'm really, really grateful for this mattress.
So I've had my Dusk mattress for a few months, and my number one thing that I love was delivered to my door because I'm kind of lazy. I don't want to go out and get it. But I also have realized I've been sleeping through the night. I don't wake up as often. And when I do wake up in the mornings, I don't feel so sore and stiff and uncomfortable. I'm like able to get up and go.
So the best part of all of this is that Helix comes to your door for free, and also it's rolled up. So it's very convenient. You know, I myself live in an apartment, 3 stories. So I like that it was able to just come to my door and I was able to roll it up onto my bed.
If it makes you nervous to buy something you haven't tried, Helix has a 100-night sleep trial, so you get more than 3 months to try the mattress to make sure that you love it. If you don't like your mattress, they actually come pick it up for you, and you get a full refund.
You can click the link below or go to helixsleep.com/3girls and get up to $200 off your Helix mattress. Go to helixsleep.com/3girls. I hope that all of you know by now that I did porn.
Wait, what?
Olivia,
I was like, no way. Anyway.
Okay, sorry. No
I
jokes.
shot porn for 8 months from 19 years old to on and off twice from 19 to 21 for a total of 8 months. I shot 4 months and then I quit and then I shot another 4 months. So a total of 8 months. Today's episode is going to be discussing my experience as well as just a general consensus and stuff that you guys were able to find through research and knowing me and knowing other people who have worked in the sex industry.
And just like the stigmatism that comes with it. And,
yeah.
You know. But I mean, to me, what's crazy that I had found was that a lot of women that went into the porn industry, and this is obviously like a very sensitive topic, you know, but a lot of them had said that 70% of women that went into prostitution or the porn industry had some sort of physical abuse as a child.
Yeah.
And that's why they resorted to that. And because they had no other sources of income or weren't able to get a job, and they felt like that was their only way to make an income. So to me, that really, you know, like hurt me inside to know that, because I obviously like struggled and I've had those thoughts growing up. You know, I went through physical abuse as a child. I was raped. So I definitely have had those triggers of thinking like, oh, maybe this is my only way to make money, and maybe I should try this out. Maybe I should try escorting. Maybe I should try, you know, seeking arrangements. And I've had those temptations, but I think that sometimes growing up in a proper environment helps you to get out of that. So if you don't even have a proper environment, that's even scary, because then you have no one to give you guidance, you know, to do so.
I've even had just here in LA, when I was like 21-ish, I just was meeting with people for like job interviews or whatever. And I've had guys try to take advantage. And I've actually had someone tell me that like, you won't get anywhere in Hollywood or in LA without sleeping with people. I've had like high up business, like men, you know, company owners say that. And they tell girls that. Luckily, like I went home to my boyfriend and I was like, listen to what this guy just said. Obviously wasn't down. Yeah. But a lot of girls actually believe that they won't be somebody or won't be able to be successful without sleeping with people and doing these certain things. Because guys, or even girls, whoever, people of power manipulate and tell people, like, you have to do this.
Well, it's great that you had someone to go back to help give you that reassurance that the decision that you made was right. That's kind of the drawback to being young and naive is that, like Olivia mentioned, a lot of these girls who are getting into the sex industry, whether it be porn or prostitution or even just, posting nudes online and doing OnlyFans, is that, like she mentioned, they come from homes that are not necessarily broken, but just don't have guidance, or there's abuse going on, or there's chaos inside of the home. I know for me, a lot of people always ask me, oh, you did porn, you must have been raped growing up, or you must have had sexual abuse. It wasn't like that at all for me, personally. I don't know if this is what caused it, but I've shared this before on the podcast that growing up, my parents were divorced. My sister has severe schizophrenia, and I think where I first started idealizing porn stars and girls like Anna Nicole Smith and Playboy was when my sister was going through her schizophrenic episodes. There was her cutting herself in front of me. One time I came home from school and she had hung herself, and I had to cut her down from our swing set when I was in elementary school. And I remember going through those experiences, and one time I found online the girls next door of Playboy, and I just was like, wow, their life looks so amazing. And you can just hit up like this old man and he'll fly you out to LA. I could get away from all of this and my life would be so incredible like theirs. They have all this cute clothes. They're beautiful. Yeah. And so I remember just wanting to escape from the situation that I had going on at home. And I would just hide in a closet or in my room and watch that and just fantasize about being 18 and going and doing that. But the danger in it is of the sex industry and porn being glamorized is that young girls like me are going to see all the positives and they're not going to see the negatives. And this is where it really shows how naive I was, because when I first got into porn, I had no idea that I was going to have to suck dick or have sex, which sounds so weird because you know that you're going to suck dick or have sex, but it didn't register, it didn't process. I really didn't think about the acts that I was going to have to do to become a porn
you didn't think
star.
Of consequences either, because you just thought of the glamour of it, like you said.
Yeah, it was all glamorized in my head. It was all, oh, I'm going to be this and I'm going to be that. But it was never, I have to do this to get there. And I think it's hard for the young mind to see that. And then there's also the issue of being young and naive and not knowing how to say no in certain situations. And luckily you, speaking back on your experiences, you clearly were raised right, or, had the confidence to say no, and you had someone to go back on to help reassure you that you made the right decisions.
Yeah, because as well as you, I grew up watching Girls Next Door. I love Playboy. Growing up my whole life, I was like, I want to be a Playboy model. I want to do this. I was obsessed with it just like you. I was in Indiana and sitting there bored, nothing going on, and I would watch these hot girls on TV, like the blonde, beautiful, the mansion, a pool, party, whatever they wanted. Yeah. And I was so obsessed. That's all I said to everyone every day. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be in Playboy. But the older that I got, and my dad actually lived in Vegas, and we would travel out here, and I got more experience like in their life and in their world, and I got to see how it was. Yeah. So luckily for me, I did get to see kind of like both sides in a way that kept me from, before I turned 18, I was like, I actually don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. And what deterred you from those situations where you wanted to get a modeling job and it was told to you, oh, if you sleep with someone or you do this sexual act, you'll be more likely to obtain it? What deterred you from giving into those situations?
I don't know if it was one specific thing. I think I just knew it was wrong. Because my mom always would tell me, like, your body is for you. Like, don't let someone try to convince you that you have to do specific things unless it's what you want to do. If someone has to tell you, oh, you have to sleep with me if you want this, my mom would always, remind me that I do not have to do those things. Yeah. So that's kind of it. And obviously my dad was the same boat.
Did your mom ever have any background in like the sex industry or anything like that, or like experience? Because it seems, like she must have had some sort of experience going through something growing up that she would instill that in you as like a young girl.
I mean, she obviously hasn't opened up to me fully like that, but I do know she did do modeling at a young age, and
so
then
she could have had those pressures that you were speaking of.
Moved to Vegas and California and lived in Hollywood with my dad. He was a professional boxer, and when they were together, it was like the highlight of his career. He was world champion, and so she was around these celebrities and around that lifestyle. So luckily she was married and had my dad, but I think she got to see how women were treated and how girls were treated, and wanted to keep me away from it.
Yeah.
So I think that would probably be why.
An interesting statistic that Alexa shared with me this morning. Do you want to tell them? Because I know you did the research, so I don't want to take your...
No, so I was researching because someone actually brought to my attention that a lot of porn stars die from like drug overdose, accidental or on purpose, suicide, whatnot. So I'm like, I wonder what the average like life expectancy, what is it? Yeah,
life expectancy
of a porn star is. And it's actually 37 years old. And that's like on average, obviously. A lot of them, if you look, die in their early 20s.
Yeah.
And then a normal person would live to be about 78 years old. So that just gives you an idea. It's like a 40-year gap.
You have to think, why is the average life of someone who was in the sex industry or shot pornography 37 versus, what did you say, 78?
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. That's a huge jump. What do you think causes that? I definitely think a lot of these deaths are probably drug related, like you mentioned, or suicide.
I think even like sex trafficking, like I think that's an issue. I mean, with
homicide.
Any countries that or any country that's legalized prostitution, the sex trafficking rates are way higher. I feel like that's common sense, but it's also very sad, and I think just aggression, abuse that comes with being in the porn industry that women go through, it's a lot of trauma for them. So as you had mentioned, I think turning to drug use and overdosing, feeling extremely depressed and not wanting to continue like the life because you just don't know how to get out of it. And I think that's also very scary. And I'm sure you probably have been in those situations with a manager that you've had or an agent where you felt trapped and you couldn't get out of doing something you'd no longer want to do because you're finally capable enough of knowing that I don't like what I'm doing to my body, or I don't feel stable mentally, physically, like this is not glamour. Like I want to do something else, and you don't know how to escape. So a lot of girls fear that. So,
well, that's why I wanted to do this podcast today, and why I try to share my experiences, even though it's extremely difficult for me, because I do have girls who are still in the industry reach out and say, wow, you're an inspiration to me. You are right where I am now. You don't have to do any of this to make money anymore. You support yourself, like you're doing great. So I think it's important for us to share this story to help, like you said, people who are still suffering, and also to help deter girls who are thinking about possibly putting themselves in that situation. One of the downfalls of the industry, as you mentioned, is agents, your manager. I've had quite a few bad experiences with agents and managers. They're supposed to work for you, and they tell you that they work for you. But a lot of the pressures in the industry and the manipulation comes directly from the agents. I remember being flown out to LA for the first time, and as soon as I came, it was almost like instant. Now that I'm thinking about it with a mature mind and being an adult woman, I feel like I was being groomed from the minute that I landed in LA. They ask you before you join the industry, what are you comfortable doing? And you check off a little list for your agent. Like, are you comfortable with blowjobs? Are you comfortable with boy-girl? Do you just want to do girl-girl? Will you do DPs? Will you do gangbangs? And so I remember only marking off, the first time I only marked off that I wanted to do girl-girl. The initial agent who I signed with wouldn't sign me if I was only doing girl-girl. So I was basically forced to do boy-girl.
Yeah.
I never checked off the boxes for doing DPs, gangbangs, any of that like drastic stuff. And I told my first agent, I will never do a gangbang. I will never do anal. I will never do any of that. And somehow, lo and behold, I end up doing all of it, because from the minute that I stepped off that plane and started talking to this man, he would say things like, oh, all the good sluts do gangbangs for cheap. The good sluts get fucked for $500. And they would really glamorize doing more for less money because that's what worked for them. So basically in the porn industry, the agents don't care about the girls to a certain extent. They only care about pleasing the producers and the film companies, because then the film companies hire the girls from that specific agent more than the other ones. And that's what they care about, is having a good relationship with the production companies, the producers. So if the agent can get you to work for extremely cheap and do extreme acts, they're going to push you to do that. And these are 40, 50, 60-year-old men who have been working in this industry for 20 to 30 years. They know how to manipulate and twist up a young 18, 19, 20-year-old girl's mind to get her to do these things. And I've often said that the agents need to be completely eliminated if that industry is going to exist, because that's where I feel that I was pressured and put into situations that I didn't want to be in. I also have to say, and just take full responsibility here, I technically, in the situations that I'll talk about later in this episode, I never claim rape, I never claim any of that, because I technically never said no. Being young me, I felt like I wanted to please everyone. I felt like I wanted to make my agent happy. They told me I was going to be so good. I was going to be so great. I wanted to make the producers happy. I wanted to make the fans happy. I could be dying inside doing something, but I would have a smile on my face and say, thank you for the work, everyone. Like, I never said no. So no one is to blame for my experiences. I can't say that, and I'm not saying that. I never said no. So
I mean, there's also another thing too, is there are girls out there that want to do these things. So like how you were okay with just say you want to do girl and girl, they should have allowed that, or you should have been allowed to just do girl and girl and not felt pressured or pushed, because there's girls out there that like to do gangbangs. They want to do those things. So why do they have to manipulate and take a girl and make her feel like she has to do things that she doesn't want to do? So like you said, maybe get rid of agents or get rid of whoever and let the girls decide on their own what they want to do, because there will be girls that like to do these things. You know, not everyone would be miserable doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, let them decide and choose.
And I think that's just the whole thing, is like the dark side of pornography is that it isn't glamour, that it's, you know, it has the wrong people working for the industry, because they, like she had mentioned, like they don't care about their clients or like their, you know, their models. They only care about like what's their income and their relationship. Yeah. So, you know, pornography can shift sexual interests, relationships, and behaviors. And that's really scary, because aggression is a huge thing in pornography. And, you know, I support anyone that's a sex worker. I have nothing against them, but I don't, like, I'm very strongly against it, because I believe that people that work for the industry should be, you know, they should just be like what's the term that I'm looking for? They should pick out more proper people to work for it, if that makes sense. Like someone who's really gonna take care of someone, because it is a very serious industry. It can really mess you up mentally, physically. So, you know, I know we're gonna discuss ethical porn. I think that's something that's really important, and that they're trying to instill in schools for younger boys, because, you know, males do show more aggression towards females. And there was a study that was done saying that 80% of scenes did show more aggression by the male, like throughout the porn stores, the videos that they release, which is insane, you know?
But even right now, sorry, it's like a thing on TikTok, if you see like being strangled, but to an extent, like whenever girls are posting like, oh, I love to be choked, I love to be strangled, like we like it in a playful manner. Like you can do these things and it not be aggressive and, you know, we're passing out. Yeah. But so there's a way to do like, you know, certain things and not.
Yeah, there's when it comes to that, so what I was talking about, like being pressured to do like more and more things, more hardcore things. So there's two different main genres of porn. There's gonzo porn, which is the aggressive porn that you guys are talking about. It's the rough anal sex, it's the choking, and I'll go more into that. And then there's vanilla porn, which is what Olivia is talking about as ethical porn, is what I think you would consider. It's just like classic, like missionary, like just like basically like artsy sex.
I was gonna say, wait, I'm kind of laughing the inside because I've had someone call me vanilla before.
I mean, I love vanilla.
Like, why are you so vanilla? I'm like, what do you mean?
It makes me kind of hungry, but I've never even heard of the term gonzo, to be honest.
Yeah.
So gonzo is the first level of it, I would say, would be it's just like there's no like artistic vision to it. It's just like rough, hardcore sex. And that could be vaginal penetration. The next level up would be anal penetration in a gonzo style. And then there's a level far more than that. And I would say that during my time in porn, I'm not sure what is like the hype right now in porn. It goes through like different phases. But during my short stint in porn, the really extreme acts were what was popular. And that's why, being the number one performer in the industry at the time, everyone wanted to make money off me. So they pushed me to do these things. And it just gets really extreme, like you were saying, abusive.
Did you ever go through those experiences where you had to do a scene where it was very aggressive and you just felt like...
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail. Like, honestly, some of my experiences are really humiliating for me, and I wish that they never happened. There's stuff going on, like people getting pissed on. Men are pissing inside of women's vaginas, assholes, down their throats. They're... Sorry.
Oh, don't cry.
Told myself it was negative.
Now I'm crying. I'm like, God damn it. No, don't cry.
I'm just giving some examples. But
no, that's really hard. And I think, like I had mentioned earlier, it's just so important for young men to stop viewing women as sex objects, because I believe that, instilling that curriculum in school at a younger age. And they had actually said, there's a fact that says that the more a young person had learned about the use of pornography from their school education or sex education, is less likely to see women as sex objects. And I feel that's why, I feel so passionate about the porn industry, because I don't believe that they should be showing those types of scenes, because it does view women as just an object, and it's not okay to do that. Like, I enjoy watching porn. Like, girl, like but like, I want to watch ethical porn. I want it to be normalized, and I want it to be taught to where it shouldn't be to where a woman is being abused and is, like the male is showing aggression, because that actually is going to translate into his relationships with women in the future, his wife. Like, it's actually statistically proven that it's going to show aggression in a marriage and a relationship. And that's, I mean, how is that healthy? Like, that's not healthy at all.
Well, a lot of it is like young boys don't understand, and they think that this is normal and that's what girls want. So they've probably never been with a girl before, and they see these horrible things, and they're like, oh, this is how to please a girl. This is what I have to do. This is what she wants. And then they, do these things and they act certain ways, and they don't realize the effects that they're having on women.
Yeah, well, they do say that serial killer and rapists are the ones who are consuming these extreme types of porns. A lot of serial killers, when they've gone through their search history, they're watching like these abusive porn, and there's tons of pornography on their search history.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I obviously, like I said, I've watched porn. I do.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with watching porn.
Yeah, but I've stumbled upon some videos where, I'm not gonna lie, I really questioned, why is this even allowed on the internet? Like, I felt very, like, I was just turned off. I was like, shut my laptop. Like, I can't even look at this. I was like, I cannot believe that this is okay. Like, this is not okay to treat women like this.
Yeah. Well, I know that I got emotional, but I do want to continue giving examples of some of those things, just so people know. What were some of the things that you saw that you were like, wow, this is really crazy?
Yeah, I mean, there was one scene where I had seen, obviously the male was having sex with a girl, and she was literally crying because he was being so aggressive. Like, I guess, he was just too big for her. I mean, she was like full blown crying, and he was like slapping her. Like, you like that? Like, I was just like, oh my God, how can this, I could not get off to this. I don't know who watches this too.
Some people have that fetish, and it's crazy. Yeah, and that's why they put it out there, because they're like, oh, somebody will watch it, which is just like, no offense, but like, that's disgusting, because obviously she's not okay.
Yeah. And I mean, to me, it really makes me sad, because I think of the girl and I think, wow, like, I can just see it in her eyes that she did not want to do this scene, but she's doing it because of the reasons of, she needs the money, or this is a flexible job for her right now. She was convinced, she was pressured, she was manipulated into doing this by her agent, because he, told her, like, it's either this way or the highway. Like, I can't even imagine how that girl felt having to do something that she clearly does not want to do. Like, this is not acting. Like, she's full blown crying. There's just no way she's acting and enjoying this. So
yeah, no, I've had friends who have been choked out so much that they've actually passed out during a scene. there's really just like crazy stuff going on that damages people's bodies for the rest of their lives. I luckily don't have any issues, but I've seen scenes shot in Europe where guys are literally punching into a girl's asshole like this, and like she's going to have issues for the rest of her life due to this. And is it worth someone making a little bit of money and someone jerking off to it? One of the worst, honestly, I feel like I'm in denial sometimes and I can't accept some of the things that I've done. There is one thing that, you know, I tried talking to a therapist about before, something that I had to do for a scene that was really rough for me. Basically, this guy had a bowl and he like gagged me until I threw up into it. And then he like pissed in the bowl. And during the scene, he asked me to drink it. And I didn't know how to say no. It was one of the most disgusting, foul scenes I ever had to do. And I'm telling a therapist this, and they don't even fucking know what to say to me.
Yeah.
No one can relate. Like, no one fucking knows what to say about it.
And so when it obviously, I don't know how like porn is shot. They don't tell you beforehand. Did they tell this guy to do these things, or did he just his own brain?
This one, my
decide?
agent was actually very pissed about.
Okay.
And again, like, I'm not saying that I was raped.
But you were put in the spot. You were
I told this guy, like, yeah, I'm excited. Let's do this. I didn't know how to say no. I just wanted everyone to be happy. So I can't blame anyone. All that I can do now is make the best of my experiences and accept it, which is really hard for me to do. Sorry, what was your question again?
I mean, no, like, I think you pretty much answered my question. But no, I was just gonna, chime in and say about how you had to do something that, you didn't want to do, or you felt pressured. I definitely can relate to that, just even by like working at Hooters. I know, you have worked there. I obviously have a little longer history of that. And, I definitely was a sex object. Like, that's who I was viewed as working at Hooters. Clearly, I was the complete opposite of that. But, I definitely was pressured into some things that I didn't want to do with men. They had the audacity to ask me to literally go give them a hand job behind the dumpsters. Yeah,
I'm sorry, it's not funny, but
no,
it's like comical.
It's
but
comical.
It's behind a dumpster.
No, I was really thinking, first off, why not at least the car?
Yes, behind a dumpster.
Second off, can you imagine you're at a restaurant and you have the audacity to look at your waitress?
What do you mean?
I don't give a fuck.
After I finish my chicken tenders, can you go jerk me off behind this dumpster?
Oh my God.
But they would push my limits. Like, they would just kind of like joke around at first, or like,
and
I'll give you
quite
$100.
touchy sometimes too. No.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, I'll give you $100 if you take off your panties for me. And I was vulnerable. I was young. I was like, oh, like, no harm. Like, okay, like, he just wants my panties. Like, heck yeah, $100. Like,
but
that's
then they're gonna be like, how much?
They kept pushing and put me on. And once they like put you on the spot, like, it's so hard to like say no, and you feel so awkward because you don't want to ruin a relationship with a client who comes into Hooters every single day, who is basically paying your bills, who's tipping you. Two, you don't want to piss them off to where they're gonna go say something. So I definitely can relate on the pressure thing, and I can definitely understand how you felt like being put in a situation that you did not know you're going to be put in, because it is so hard to get out of that. So, like, I definitely understand sex workers and the porn industry a lot more, just because I've had personal experiences that I can relate to.
Yeah.
I think I've talked to you about this briefly, and I don't know her full story because obviously I haven't got to talk to her, but I told you I had a cousin that actually I found out did porn. And her and I were super close growing up, and she was kind of like my half cousin. So anyway, her dad lived in a different state. We kind of grew apart for a few years, but when I moved out here, we kind of rekindled. And she was obviously a lot different than I had remembered. And I remember my dad's friend being like, oh, she definitely, like, she's a sex worker. I'm like, no. Yeah. I end up finding out that she is. But now I've even shown you before and after pictures. Like, she's back home, very unwell and unstable, like, had a really bad drug problem. She now hears, like, voices in her head. Like, she was going through a lot of, like, obviously abuse and issues. And before that, like, she was a very normal girl, especially from what I remember. I looked up to her. She's my older cousin, and she looks completely different. I remember I was, like, showing you these things, and it's so crazy that, like, I got to, like, witness firsthand that it turned, like, a normal, like, my normal cousin into, like, now she is, like, in a mental asylum.
Yeah, and so I would say that's definitely attributed one to probably the experience of shooting porn. And I'm not saying every scene and every shoot that I did was horrible. I'm saying that the handful that were traumatic for me were enough to do damage.
It just
There
takes
were
one.
probably 3 to 5 that were really traumatic for me, whether it was being sent to a set with someone who was way too old and I didn't even know who I was going to fuck and I was disgusted the whole time because they were 80 years old, or you know, one of the experiences that I just listed, or just being pressured into doing something that I was scared of doing because it was too extreme. That can definitely be very dramatic, and I would say is the number one contributor to why I left the industry and disown it, basically, because of those horrible experiences that I had. The other downside to having done porn, obviously, is the stigma. And that's probably the thing that's hardest for me to live with now, is the stigma of having done porn and knowing that I can run, but I can't hide from it no matter where I go. Everyone knows, everyone's seen me get fucked. I just have to do the best that I can with it. And it's like having, I feel like I have a life sentence over my head at 24. Like, I'm always going to be Lana Rhoades. I'm always going to be a porn star, no matter how bad I don't want to be. And I've shared some of like the issues that I've had. Like, you even met my neighbor. You didn't meet her, but you saw my neighbor in Chicago. When I had a house in Chicago, I was married. I was planning on having kids with my ex-husband. She would harass me because she knew who I was. She would call the police on me, say I was shooting porn at my house.
I was going to say, didn't you have, even this house, they had asked like what you were going to do here, which I thought was really disrespectful. And I was just like, why? Like, why?
I mean, I can understand why they would ask. However, every time that it's brought up and I'm just like, I'm Amara Maple right now, it's extremely like hard for me. I'm like, why do I have to be reminded of this all of the time? Even Olivia went on a date the other day and I went with her, and her date and his friend were asking me porn questions, and it's just like,
yeah, I mean, come to find out, they were just disgusting males and had a fetish for porn. And
yeah, but even you're obviously pissed because you're like, oh, he was supposed to be my date, but I'm literally wanting to kill myself because I don't want to be fucking reminded of this shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to be thought of that way. Yeah. And I would say, you know, I definitely deal with depression and suicidal thoughts monthly because of my past in porn. And that's just me being really candid. You know, it's not fun. It's not a great thing to have over your head.
Yeah. But I mean, I know, like you said, that it's something that you have to live with for the rest of your life. But the thing is, so like the direction that you're going is so inspiring to many. And it's so important because you just did a complete 180. Like, you have so much class, like, you know, you are intellectual, like you are self-educating yourself. Like, you're doing all the things that a lot of, you know, porn stars or girls that are still in the industry can't even do at all because they don't have that proper knowledge, or they don't have the guidance, they don't have the friends to like show them and lead them the way and say, hey, like, this is what you shouldn't do, this is what you should do, because you don't have that guidance when you're in that industry. Like, you're completely mind fucked. So the direction that I think you're going is amazing and it's super inspiring, like I said, and trust me, like, you will be known as Amara Maple, not Lana Rhoades, in 10 years. And I can promise you, if you just keep going in the direction that you are, because you're doing really good for yourself.
Yeah. And you're like showing all these young girls, like, first off, you're giving them examples. The girls that are going to watch us that have maybe had the thoughts or been in your shoes, they're now going to get to see that it is not glamorous and that maybe they should not. And you're also helping the girls that are in that right now, that are currently doing these things, that there is a way out and that they don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, I hope that my experience and my suffering through this experience will help other people.
Yeah.
Whether it's helping someone make better decisions than I made, or it's helping people who are in the thick of it get out of it. We're going to wrap up this episode. I don't feel like I got to touch on everything that I wanted, but I hope that it somehow help someone in some way. So crazy. But the other night when we got back from New York, I hadn't had a vibrator with me for the whole entire trip.
Jesus Christ.
So I was going off with my Hitachi and it actually broke because I used it so much. Thank God this episode is sponsored by Adam and Eve, so I can use our discount code and order a new one.
Free stuff is awesome, but free stuff to spice up your bedroom is even better.
Select almost any one item for 50% off, and Adam and Eve loads on free stuff.
So you know how I love lingerie. I like to take my little sexy pics.
Yes.
I actually just ordered so much from Adam and Eve, and I'm super excited for it to come in. I've ordered from them before, and I put them on even when I wasn't really feeling myself, and I felt hot as fuck.
Ooh,
so
damn, I need to check them out now.
I know, I'm excited.
Use our offer code 3G1K at checkout on adamandeve.com. That's 3G1K at checkout on adamandeve.com.
That's 3G1K at checkout at adamandeve.com.
50% off, free gifts, and free shipping. What's not to love? After years of fine print contracts and being ripped off by large wireless providers, I've learned that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers a wireless plan starting at just $15 a month, I was like, what's the catch? But after speaking with them and using their services, I realized that it all made sense. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. By cutting out retail stores, there's no mystery fees that get passed down to you. Instead, Mint just passes on sweet savings directly to you.
Yeah, so for people looking to save some extra bucks, Mint Mobile does offer premium wireless for only $15 a month, guys.
All plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
And if you're not 100% satisfied, guys, Mint Mobile does have you covered with their 7-day money-back guaranteed.
And you get to keep your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts.
Oh, that's actually pretty awesome because that's important to me. I need
me
my
too.
phone number.
I've had the same phone number since I was 10 years old.
Same.
Legit.
So you guys should switch to Mint Mobile because they do have the premium wireless for only $15 a month. So to get your new wireless plan just for $15 a month and get it shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/3G1K. That's mintmobile.com/3G1K.
Yeah. So let's dive into the fan questions.
So my fan question is, how do I go up to a random girl in public and start a conversation asking for a friend? So I'm going to say this for girls and guys. So for me, I've learned to maybe pick something out from a person. For instance, I've been in a situation where I was sitting across with a bunch of friends and I had found someone like really attractive that I wanted to like say something to them, you know? So how I went about it is I looked at his shoes and I was like, oh my gosh, I love his shoes. Like I'm a huge shoe girl, like you guys know. And I made a compliment to his shoes and I said, hey, oh my gosh.
What shoes were they?
Nikes.
Oh.
Of course.
But they're like the special edition.
Okay, continue.
So, you know, I pointed out his shoes and I said, oh my God, are those like so-and-so, like, you know, the certain type? And he was just like, oh my gosh, like, how did you know? So that's how I striked that conversation. And then we started talking. So sometimes you just have to look at the other person and pick something out, or sometimes like even just making a funny joke if you're in a weird situation or like the location that you're at. So obviously don't be creepy. Like, don't try to force a conversation that should not be there, because then that person's not going to want to talk to you. Yeah. But like I said, if you want to just strike a conversation, look for something that's on them, compliment them if you like something about them, and usually it'll get that person to respond, and then you guys can start a conversation.
I agree. Definitely compliment is an easy thing. Also be like, oh, I like your sweater. Where'd you get that from? Start a conversation. Another thing I like to do is maybe ask a question of some sort. You know, not like play dumb, but I don't know how to say it. Say you're somewhere and you're like, oh, actually, do you know of a good place to get pizza? Like, I'm not from around here. Like something random, like whatever.
I've heard of that. Like acting like dumb, but obviously you're not.
Yeah, like just to get their advice on something, and it strikes a conversation. And you know, if they're into you, maybe they'll take you.
I hate when I actually have a question though, and then they think that I just want to talk to them. That honestly happens to me more often than me actually wanting to hit on someone.
Well, that's when you ask a girl.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, what if there's no girl?
But then they also might think her.
You really are bad. Like, you honestly, like, you ask people questions and then you just keep going and they won't, like, shut the fuck up. And I'm just like, oh, God, she just started this.
Well, I feel bad stopping the conversation.
Yeah. You're like,
all
right,
so nice.
I really can't give advice on this. I've only asked one, well, besides like Instagram DMs, that's completely easier though.
Yeah.
In real life, I've only had to ask one guy out in my entire life. It was a guy at the gym, and I probably followed him around the gym for 2-3 hours trying to work up the confidence. Eventually I waited on the couches like downstairs after waiting like 3 hours for him. And he waved to me, and then I just got up and started walking with him and like was hugging
You're like,
him.
all right, here we go, buddy.
He was in,
Where are we going?
Yeah, he does HVAC, and so I was like, my furnace is broken. Do you think you could come fix it? And he's like, really? And I'm like, no, it's not really broken.
You go home really quick, like
break it.
Yeah, you play a dumb question.
I'm like, can I get your number, like, to come fix it? And he's like, wait, is it really broken? I'm like, yes, no.
You're like, it can be.
It can be. I'll break it myself.
And now asking a question and then obviously a compliment. Everyone loves a compliment. So those are easy go-tos.
My question, advice when someone you had a good relationship and bond with, but they end up ghosting. I actually had this happen to me recently. I thought that I had like the best, second hangout date with someone. Like I thought the chemistry was amazing, insane. This person followed up with me after the date like a few times, but never asked me to hang out again. And to me, that was just shocking because I thought that we just had the best time together. But clearly they didn't feel the same way or they would have asked me out again, right? But my advice for this is giving myself and you advice because I just went through a similar thing is if they wanted to, they would.
Okay, TikTok.
Dude, she literally came into my room.
I have something crazy to tell you.
Yeah, she came into my room at like 4 a.m. with flowers and coffee and she goes, Olivia! If he wanted to, he would. And I'm like, oh my God, what? Did you just find the love of your life? Like, why are you holding roses and a book? Like, what's going on? Like, where did you go for like 3 hours?
So, my ex was in New York at the same time as me. Why did I just say New York like that? And I wasn't going to hang out with him, but then I couldn't sleep. So I was like, fuck it. I'll just bring my dog over to his house at like 2 a.m. For him to meet my dog, like as friends on some friendship shit. And it was Easter, so I was like, why not? So I went over there. We like hung out for a little bit. Again, I just feel like I have to reiterate, didn't hook up, like just some real friendship type shit. I leave at 4 a.m. And it said that Starbucks was going to be open. So I Ubered to Starbucks. Well, actually, I dropped off my dog. And then I Ubered to Starbucks. Because it was Easter, they were closed till 5 a.m. So there's a little subway underpass next to the Starbucks. I'm sitting there. People are coming up, down. I'm sitting there for like 30 minutes. And I have another 30 minutes to go. There is a man of the streets. And by that, I mean like a homeless man, who I think was also maybe on meth, crack, whatever his drug of preference was, because the way that he was walking, he was just like,
I mean, he was tired.
He had a bouquet of flowers, though. And so, he's coming up the stairs all slowly like this, and I'm like, should I stay here? Should I have a conversation with him? I'm like, you know what? Why not? Let me have a conversation with this man. I'm going to be here for 30 minutes. I should brighten his day. I'm sure a lot of people don't want to talk to him because he can be intimidating. Yeah. Especially being a girl alone there, it can be scary to talk to a homeless man who seems like he's on drugs. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to fucking talk to this man. I'm going to try to give him the best day of his life by making him feel important. So he comes up to me. Of course, he starts talking to me once he makes it to the top of the stairs. And, he's on drugs. So he's just like, just talking about crazy shit. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, you can be anything that you want in life. Just hyping this man up, trying to give him some good old life advice. And he's just talking crazy. But eventually he's like, you really made my day. You made me feel really special. I don't know why I got these flowers today, but I think that they're for you. And so he gives me these flowers and I'm like, you know what? Starbucks is open now. Why don't you come in with me and I'll buy us both a coffee? So I go into Starbucks. I get us both caramel macchiato. We go out. I'm like, listen, I have a flight this morning. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay blessed. And I somehow in passing mentioned to him that I love to read. Now this man has 3 bags of stuff, and that's all his possessions. He doesn't own anything. So 2 of the few things that he owned were flowers, and then he also had a Barack Obama book. And when I mentioned to him that I like to read, he gave me one of his only possessions, which was his Barack Obama book, and he had already given me the flowers. This man barely owns anything, and he gave me his only book, his only form of entertainment, and flowers. And I'm just like, this man who literally has nothing gave me everything.
Yeah.
if a fucking man wants to, he fucking will.
Yeah. And he was like, he probably stole the flowers from someone.
Like, honestly, he probably did steal the flowers or found them in a garbage can or something. But I'll tell you, I bought that book home with me because that book means so much, because this man gave me, he doesn't have anything, and he gave me everything that he had. And so I broke into the house at like 5 a.m. and I'm like, Olivia, if he wanted to, he would. I'm like, look, this man doesn't have anything, and he gave me everything that he has.
Yeah. I mean, I forgot what the question was. Wait, what was the question?
Oh, it was it was you felt basically you felt like you had a connection or a good relationship and bond, and they end up ghosting. So the moral of the story is, if they wanted to be with you, they wanted to talk to you, they wanted to see with you, they would.
If they felt the same connection, or if they felt that they would. So let it go. Don't dwell on it. Don't sit there. I mean, we've all been there. I've definitely had guys I've talked to for like a month, and we've talked about like being serious, and all of a sudden, boom, nothing.
Yeah.
Me. So it happens to everyone, and the worst thing that you can do is sit there and dwell and be like, why not? Why me? Why didn't they pick me?
Or
not the right
get
person.
over it,
or
move on.
think of scenarios like, oh, maybe, because this I'm definitely guilty of, is not accepting that they didn't want me, and thinking like, oh, maybe they're just shy. Maybe they just love me too much. They're scared.
Like, I'm the opposite. I'm like, all right, well, I wasn't the one for them. I'm very like, to where
very masculine, you're realistic.
I was also gonna say, I feel like everything happens for a reason, and everyone is put in your life for a reason, and also taken out for a reason. So if someone ghosts me or disappears from my life, I'm like, that was probably for the best, because if they had stayed, they probably would have made me more sad or brought like more toxic, negative. Yeah.
Could have kept you from doing something. So
So if someone leaves your life, all right, cool, let them.
Yeah. It's a very simple saying, but I think I had spoken about this a while back on the podcast, is that I had to realize that everything happens for a reason. And, if someone isn't meant to be with you, it's for a reason. Like you said, it's stopping you from possibly maybe getting a future career, like a gig of your, like a dream gig, or traveling, or becoming friends with someone else, or honestly meeting your husband the next day, like your future, the love of your life.
You know what they say, don't let your boyfriend stop you from meeting your husband.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, if someone ghosts you, all right, bye. Mine is, how do you get back into dating and actually give guys a chance? It's been like 2 months since I've even like done anything at all. I don't talk to guys, whatever. So I guess this would be good for me, because I haven't gotten back into dating. But I feel like when I'm ready, I will know. My mistakes in the past is I would always have to have a guy to be texting, or have someone to hang out with, or just whatever. And that was very toxic for me. What I'm doing right now is I don't talk to really anyone. And I think that when you are ready and you focus on yourself, like we always say, and you're happy with yourself and your friends, you'll know when you're ready to get back into dating. When someone asks you on a date, you'll know, do I want to go? Do I not want to go? You'll just know automatically. If you feel like you're kind of forcing it, then I think it's pretty much a given, like you're not ready. So to answer your question, like when you know, you'll know. Like when someone asks you and approaches you, on a date, if you're questioning it, you're probably not ready.
Yeah, and they're going to see that energy. I had actually talked to Amara about this, that energy is so big and people can sense it. You can be the least attractive person in the room, but if you have the biggest heart and the most open-minded, you are going to be the most beautiful person in someone else's eyes, because they are going to feel that energy, and like they're going to see that through you. And that's what makes you attractive. It's not your looks. It's and when you're not mentally ready to be out, trying to date guys or talk to guys, because you have a lot of self-reflecting to do, you have a lot of issues you need to fix, you have your own things going on in your life, they are going to see that whether you think that or not. Yeah. They will feel and sense that energy. I personally have been in a situation where I was trying to force a relationship, and I was talking to a guy, but I was not mentally there. I was not physically there. I was going through a lot, and I was portraying that anger or whatever issues I was having on him without even realizing it, to the point to where he left me, and he was just like, yo, like, I can't do this with you. And I was so frustrated and angry at him. And then whenever a couple months later, I was like, you know what? I did some self-reflecting. I was like, wow, like I feel so bad that I put him through that, because I wasn't ready,
Yeah. My number one thing I always say is try to be a positive energy, no matter who you're around, no matter where you are. Even if you're having doubts or feeling off about something, maybe keep that for when you're at home, because you never know if your energy's off and you're feeling negative, it will affect who you're around and you can bring others down. But if you are a positive, radiant energy, people will know. I have actually had people come up to me out before being like, wow, I love your energy. One, it brings new friendships. It could also bring people who you want to date, and it also can uplift other people's moods that you don't know that need it.
Yeah. No, I try to stay home, and I try not to talk or text people while I'm down or sad, just because I don't want to be seen in that light.
Yeah.
And you are good at that. You always told me that.
The other day I made a mistake, and I went with you on that date while I was really upset about something else, and I ended up talking trash about someone. Like, now after the fact, I'm just like, that's not who I am as a person.
You feel like an idiot.
And I'm not just an idiot. I feel bad because it's outside of my character. And so I know, per se, when I'm in a bad mental state, I'm not going to go out and be around people again, because it makes me act out of character. And that's not who I am.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my experience, their experiences, and I hope you learned something, or at least found my trauma entertaining. I don't know if you guys, they have seen me cry before when my Instagram got deleted.
I didn't know that even happened.
I was going to say, it's like a popular screenshot. People made memes of
really
me.
funny. I've seen it.
I want to see it.
So you may have seen me cry before. This could be the first time. Regardless, make sure you head over to Apple Podcast or Spotify and subscribe to us. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Leave positive, uplifting comments. Please. Don't be a bully. Seriously.
We dropped 3 days earlier on Apple, so listen to us there.
Love that little dance.
I'm like, bye.